Let's talk about the 5 business lessons that university taught me. How's it guys? My name is Warren. So for those of you who don't know, last year I finished my 4 years in marketing. It was a course that was absolutely incredible. It was just suited towards me. Throughout my years of studying, there were a few things that I picked up on that the university was kind of teaching us unintentionally. I thought that these are great lessons that can be implemented in one's business or one's general journey in life. The first business lesson I learned was how to think properly. University is such an incredible way to open your mind and how to approach certain situations. A lot of people have the debate, do they need to go to university? Do they not need to go to university? What is the whole point? The biggest point and the biggest lesson that I learned and how I can relate it into my future business practices is how to think and approach different situations. If you have a certain problem, how are you going to find a creative solution to match that problem? You may be thinking, Warren, how do you think differently, or how did you learn how to think? My personal experience, before I went into university, my mind was like this. As soon as I went into university, I experienced so many new interesting things, meaning my brain was suddenly like this. University pushes you into a whole new space and it's like, cool, go deal, great, let me know how that goes for you. The second business lesson I learned in going to university was teamwork. Now, all the courses that I did at university, there was an element of teamwork. Teamwork can be many different forms. It can be interacting with your classmates, it can be working on a project with a small group of people, or even just collaborating with a bunch of different people to get one common task done. I think it definitely comes with its challenges, as there are so many different people who have different types of personalities and different qualities, all of which are incredible, but a lot of the times you find that people who you're working with are completely different to who you are. And it's all about how you can compensate and how each person can contribute in their own valuable way to make one whole project. Often in the beginning it's quite difficult because people get on each other's toes and there's conflict and there's problems with people not working and people not pulling their weight. The greatest team is where you work effectively together to achieve one common goal, and you're putting your differences aside and you're putting things that aren't constructive to that common practice completely to the side, and you're focusing on the bigger task at hand. The next valuable lesson that I learned from going to university was time management and meeting deadlines. Now, throughout your time at university, you're going to find that you do projects. This is just something that cannot be ignored, unfortunately. I know as much as you would like to not do any projects or not do any work, it is something that we have to do. Meeting deadlines and working up to those deadlines is a great business lesson as well. In terms of the advertising industry and the business in which we're running, we need to meet very strict deadlines, meaning that if a project isn't done on a certain date, well, you guys simply aren't going to be paid. That's how it works. For us to effectively manage our time and distribute our time, finding what's more important, focusing on that, and then quickly shifting across to something else and focusing on that, time management is very important. And for me, this has been quite an interesting lesson to be learnt, because sometimes I like to focus my time too much on one thing and getting one particular task done, and when I'm focusing on that, nothing else matters. For me, it was a nice lesson to learn in terms of focusing on multiple different things and strictly budgeting your time and allocating your time very wisely. The next business lesson that I learned at university was everything is going to be okay. Sometimes when we would work on a project, we would be really stressed. We weren't really sure if what we were doing was right, and there were a whole lot of other problems that kind of arose. Looking back, in terms of those moments, guys, everything is going to be okay. Sometimes when you're in your little bubble, it is so hard to get a bird's eye view of everything because you're so focused on this one task. And when things go wrong, you start to stress out and you're like, everything is going wrong. My entire life is going wrong because this thing is not working out. My advice to you here is try to get a bird's eye view on the entire situation. And that's often what I used to do when things weren't going too well. I would imagine myself as a little eagle looking down on the entire situation, thinking, okay, Warren, that thing isn't going too well, but I mean, you can do this and this and this and this to make it better, and then the problem will go away. Take a moment, step back, and just look at that situation again from a different perspective. Maybe get someone else to add their bit of input and their element, and then yeah, you'll notice that you don't need to stress as much because generally it is going to be okay. And the final business lesson that I learned from university was routine. The general routine of going to university on a daily basis, getting stuff done, knowing what your work routine is, trying to get projects completed, getting tasks completed, coming home, working and going to bed. And especially when it comes to starting out a business, there's nothing. You are starting everything from scratch. Take a new business, like a piece of paper, a blank A4 piece of paper. There's nothing on that piece of paper, right? And as a business owner, it's up to you to take that A4 piece of paper and to write things on it in order to put things down into practice. And it's something that I am also beginning to learn and I'm slowly starting to implement in my life. How can I make my one day count? What things can I put in place to make that day count? It's split between business and this and learning and doing this. I think it's important to divide your day up equally in terms of things that you want to achieve. And it's a lesson that I am beginning to learn in terms of a business routine and what we need to be doing to make this business work. So that's very exciting. So yeah, those are the business lessons that I learned from my time at university. I have this little black book over here, which my grandpa gave to me for Christmas, and I've been writing some sick ideas in here in terms of videos and things that I want to do. So I'm excited to take 2017 seriously, and 2017 is the year of making great things. I really want to encourage you guys to go out and do something awesome. Thank you guys very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe by clicking the button down below, and if you're interested in what my business is all about, I've left a link in the description as well. But I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day. Goodbye.